should have audio. Is that correct? So let's start the noise again. Okay, I think we have noise. I forgot to pick the right setting in the audio card. You need to set it on a loopback from the output, which puts it digitally back to the input so that you can hear me. But the audio should be okay now. So I'm checking here in the chat room to be sure. Okay, irritating that this each time jumps away. All up and running. Okay, so audio is fine. Too loud. Okay. I can make it, I guess, not distorted, so the output should be okay. So yeah, you missed my introduction. What happened is somebody asked me, who's watching regularly the live stream, ask how you do this type of Tangerine Dream sequences from the 70s, 80s done with these Moog sequences. And he talked about a kind of re-triggering. But what it was essentially, it was increase of the tempo of certain steps, make it instead of 1 8 note, 16th note. And it sounds very similar to a glitch. So I made today this Tangerine Dream sequence, and I'd like to show you how it's done by using SubBoomBass-2. Originally, he asked if it could be done using the BIT, which I also use. Let me see. BIT plays this one. Where is it? No, wrong screen. Always flying screens. So, okay. No. Yeah, that's the one. So, I put a bit down. Some kind of stabby sound in the beginning. Going on, I made a sound with took from Predator 2, which is a bit of PPG-like sound, which is called Berlin version 2, Berlin voice 2. So with a wavetable used, and then there is this little percussive sound. But first, let me explain what is happening with this bass sequence from SubBoomBass-2, because that one was the first thing I did. So if you have SubBoomBass-2, I play it now. You hear the different patterns. Well, it's the case that with SubBoomBass-2 you can have 4 different patterns. So, okay, yeah, let me see if it's all clear. Yeah, it's all visible. Well, here you have the play mode, how the sequencer plays of SubBoomBass. And here you can select the view and edit something. So this is the view. And if you like to edit, of course, you need to select it also to hear it. So in this case, it's sequence A. Go to sequence A. And you see this one is 16 steps, normal speed, 1 times BPM. So essentially these are 8th note. Yeah, in the chat room, yeah, indeed, BIT, SubBoomBass-1, 2, Tangerine Dream tones, yeah, Predator 2, and this one is more doing a Moog stylish sequence sound. So I use the 24 dB low pass one, which has a Moog ladder filter. Now, what is happening in the sequences is that in some parts it gets this triple note, or not really a triple, a shorter fast thing. And the way to achieve this is done in sequence C. So sequence C, I play it now. And you see this sequence C has 2 times the speed. So in here, I then make these steps active, and then essentially it's 16 steps, but it plays double speed. So essentially each step is one 32th note, so one /32 note, and of course I mute them because I don't want to play them all. And then what you get is then fast notes. So, and of course, this is too boring if it has the beat each time. And keep in mind, if it's double the speed, the sequence plays, of course, half the bar instead of sequence A. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sequence C is double speed, so it's this is half a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So I need one extra double speed sequence to fill the gap. And that is sequence B. Also sequence, I need to select it here, play mode sequence B. And sequence B is also double speed, but without these fast notes. Now, so we have a normal speed, 1 bar. Sorry, in sequence A, 1 bar. We have a sequence B, which is half a bar, which plays double speed. And then we have C, which is also half a bar because it's double speed, which has the fast notes. And now you need to set it this way in SubBoomBass-2 that you have them in a pattern. So you click here on pattern view and select also pattern as playback mode. So now pattern means that first it starts to play A, which is 1 bar, then B, which is half a bar, and C and D, which is half a bar. So essentially then you have 2 bars if 3 steps are gone. So let's play it. So it sounds a bit like a glitch, but it is not. So it's so this is a way where you can do this glitch. Well, no, they would call it a glitch, but essentially part of the sequence play faster. So you got with sequence A, each step is then 1/16th note. So you have 16th note. The half of them I leave out, which makes that I have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 notes, 1/8 note in the step in this bar. And the sequence B is double speed, which has also 4 of them, but that is not 1/8 note, but 1/16th note, because it's a double speed of the sequence B. And then in C, it's also double speed of the sequencer. And then you see it's 1/3 32th note, so 1/32. So let's play it again. So in pattern mode, so the play mode needs to be pattern. This little thing here, what you see here, is for viewing. So I still can view A, B, C, and D, and the pattern mode. This is also for selecting the copying of a sequence, which also can use here. Maybe we should make this a bit bigger in the next update, and place below it view, so people understand a little bit better what it does. It's a very sophisticated sequencer which has essentially 4 patterns. So now place the pattern mode. Yeah, and even afterwards you still can do some fun parts, even detune again. So I can say, okay, on once it plays pattern, on it gets here on this tab, it goes 1 octave higher. So some additional features are inside this pattern mode also. So now I double click. Oh no, okay. Reset, tune. Okay, now it goes 0. So yeah, that's how you can create these type of sequences using SubBoomBass-2. So hopefully everybody can follow me a bit. No sound. Yeah, I need to throw out the start of the live stream. You can edit it out, so that's cool. So if people watch back, they don't think from, oh, this is a live stream without audio. That would not be very nice. So, but that afterwards I always can filter it out. So this is one of the sequences I did. Tangerine Dream sequence. I will place this preset in the info section below this live stream later on, so you can download it and play around with it. So it uses the 4 sequences which SubBoomBass-2 has to offer. And the play mode you see is pattern, which I did now. There's also another option, is stop select. And then you need to use 4 notes, the 4. So the A5, A sharp 5, B5, and C5 you can use for selecting the sequence. That's also a very cool thing. So I can play it. And now it doesn't do. Why it doesn't do it? Okay. Okay, now I see that I still need to, so I need to select it and then play it. So using the upper keyboard range, I don't think you guys can see it. I'm not sure if that is fully visible on the screen of my keyboard. So you can use A5, A sharp 5, and B5 and C6 for controlling, selecting sequence A, B, C, and D. But most likely, and I think we could improve it that you can select it while still playing, because now for some reason when I hit the note it jumps over to this note. So that's something, yeah, that might be a bug. So I suddenly found a little bug while doing this. So I need to write that down, otherwise I forget. Okay. Well, that is top select. So top select, and you can have split A until D. That's another option. First octave, second octave, sequence B, third octave. So that is also an option you could do with the sequencer. You see also here it lights up. So when I'm playing the first octave, it plays sequence A. Second octave, sequence B, you see lighted up here. Sequence C. So yeah, you can do some very cool stuff. So then there is split A, B, which means that you have 2 octaves and 2 octaves for A and B. So I'm not sure if I created a video about it, but anyhow, in a future update, which is what we like to do, is adding a few more samples to the SubBoomBass-2. which means the tabla, and add also that if you pick a sample instead of a regular waveform, that you could pick then granular mode features inside of it. So there's always something popping up in the future for SubBoomBass-2, and of course also the big screen version is on its way. Which reminds me to say that for RPA mode, most likely next week we have the different screen versions for the FX RPA mode. So now in pattern mode, that's what I use. Of course, the play mode needs to be pattern. And then you have this nice. Yeah, so this is the one sequence. The other one is also SubBoomBass-2, but that's more a plucky sound. This one. And also here in pattern, you see that pattern. So now you see here is a plucky sound, but what I did is use the second filter to cut out the low frequency because it's pretty boomy in the low end. And if you cut that out a bit, not too much, then it's too thin. But if you cut it a bit, it blends in better together with the other sound. So it's a very short percussive sound. Okay, I save this one now, save preset. So this is TD Perk sequence. And here you see the sequence A. It's also 2-speed. Right away it took 2-speed and it plays 4 notes, which essentially are also 8-note, but it's half a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and the second sequence B is also double speed, but then has this. Then it's up to you how to use them. You can, as mentioned, you can also do split A-B, so. Or you can do the pattern. Okay, so let's see the chat room. Hello, everybody. I see some familiar names popping up. Can you tell how to use FX in the sequencer? Yeah, the way you can use it inside SubBoomBass is by using here the free row. So if I take sequence A and take that as an example, you see the free row you can address to anything. So I need to go to the modulation matrix, and then I could say take the free row, up free row, sequence of free row, and control. For instance, what I could do is here pick the reverb. Then I have a reverb. I put the mix to 0. Okay, so now the mix is 0. And I can use the destination. I can use then the FX. Let me see. Where is it? Is it lost? That will be a good one. Where is it? None. We definitely need to update SubBoomBass-2 because I'm missing here the FX section. That is odd. That's a good one. It's a bug or we totally forgot. Normally you can use the free row to control the FX. Oh boy, no. Sorry guys, I have a brain fart because this was based. How stupid of mine. Because essentially inside the FX there's already 2 slots. So here I need to pick then the free row, sequence of free row, because we added that separate in the FX already. FX2 mix. Here we go. Let's see. So now it jumps into the room. I can make it a bit longer open just by latching these. So this is a tie note and you don't hear the tie note because the envelope is so short. You don't hear the tie note, but I still can use it for the reverb. So let me go. So when in the pattern you would have done this. Nice, isn't it? So yeah, here are 2 things you can use then, 2 slots for controlling the FX, FXA and FXB. I totally forgot, but maybe it's an idea in the modulation matrix to make it here also available in case you need more slots. So I will save this one also, save preset as sequence FX, so you can download it and see how it works. So it's nice. Let's combine it together. Okay. Makes a nice special thing to it, isn't it? So it's very nice. So TD Perc Sequence FX is the preset and the other one is without this FX connection. So I think I did answer that one. I'm checking the it can make glissando. You mean in the sequencer itself, or do you mean in general? So a pitch glide, that's anyhow possible also in the, let me go to the sequencer again. So here you have slide, which you can use. So I can, if I go 1 pattern, just to show how it works, and I go to slide up, I take note 13 pretty high. And then this is slide active. Of course, I need to open this slide. Get it? Whoop. So slide is that it slides to step 13. So I need to click it active and open the slide. Slide sets the tempo of it. Or slide in general. Okay. Let me see. Okay, then I need to go to a different preset. If you go to bass presets. Now this is a sound. What I can do, it's mono. Okay. In this play mode, you have this portamento, and we have different types. We have held rate, held time. Held rate is always the same rate, and held time is each time the same time. If it's between two notes, if they're far apart or short apart, it's always the same time. So I could use that one. Held means that if I play not held, there's no glide. When I play legato, oh, my volume. Okay, sorry. The volume, okay, I will put it a bit louder. Is this better? Volume of the... Yeah, it's of course when I speak, I hear myself, so my volume of my own voice is louder here than on your spot. So I put it a bit louder. Okay. I have, of course, this new mixer, and I still need to find the right setting. So I hope this one is better. Let me see. Okay, I can see that here. Yeah, this should be better. Okay. Now this is mono. Each time when you hit a note, it triggers. And what is a nice mode? It's the legato mode, which is then it doesn't re-trigger the envelope. So you hear the decay. So let's the filter. And it goes dark, you know, the more with the low sustain. And if you have mono, each time you hit the new note, it starts re-triggering. And legato, you can make the kind of subtones. Yeah, now I adjust the glide and so this is the different types. You can also say constant rate, and constantly you always have a portamento glide. And the rate, or you say time, and then you have constant time. So the time between these two notes or with the rate. So you see short notes are very shorter. Excuse me. And with the held, it means that the portamento kicks in the moment I play legato. And this is a 18 dB low pass filter. Yeah, and it's very nice that what you hear now is without any effects. It's really a dry sound, which very often works great for tracks, simply. And of course you can add some chorus to it, but sometimes without chorus is also nice. Okay, so this is the glide mode, which they call portamento. Of course, you still have the option for pitch bend. So here you can say pitch bend, go extreme, 12 semitones. So then you get this. So Yeah, that's creative use of a pitch bend. Normally it would be maybe 3 semi, but just by 1 octave. And in the music, this also can work cool. So I'm just, if I would play this in the music, add MIDI. So okay, let's see if I can play this. If I'm in the good groove today, not sure. You can try it. So I mute now the other one. Yeah, that's messy. That's not good. Not messy, the football player, but my way of playing. Messy. Okay. So I did mute this lead sound because this is not really, just again, another attempt. So yeah, you see, you can use it really in a creative way, just going 1 octave down. It's not really perfect what I play, but you get, I guess, my idea. And here you see the glide. So cool, isn't it? Yeah, the pitch bend is really a very creative part in the, what I often do, and that's why they have this spring, and you see jumping around. So if you have it less, so it's really for some. So now it's less 3 semi, but still you can. Okay, so this is Bei Ho Yuno. Oh, I don't know. It's nice. It's a nice bass. Sounds good on my headphones. Hopefully also your on your speakers, and that you're listening on this live stream using your studio speakers. Okay. I'm checking the chat room. How do you get wheel vibrato? That's a good point. Wheel modulation, wheel vibrato, that's something which you need to do inside the envelope LFO. You see here we have an LFO. That's a way to do it. Although if you really want a basic pitch amp LFO, you can stay in this section here, because this pitch LFO is inside the play mode already. So no, there is no vibrato. Now you hear it. Okay, let's get a bit more sustain. So this is the amount. This is the pitch LFO inside the play mode. It's really performance way of doing it. So you don't have to go to the envelope LFO or modulation matrix. You can stay in the play mode and the pitch LFO. So let me shut down the chorus here. Okay, so that you hear it. That's too slow. Okay, there's a bit. Let me make it a bit simpler, because there's also a pulse width modulation going on, and this sound is a bit too wobbly in the oscillator too. So you can go very minimal, and this is the max. If you want to have it deeper than this, then you need to use the modulation wheel. So I add a little bit of amount, and then there is modulation amount control, which means that you can use the modulation wheel or the modulation and aftertouch to control the amount of this pitch LFO. Therefore, it is named amount control. So it controls the modulation wheel, controls the amount of pitch LFO, and when I open it, it goes. Oh, it opens also the filter. I need to go up here, the filter modulation wheel. Okay. Hear that? So this is why using the traditional way of modulation wheel, which is essentially the same what you would do with a Minimoog. Amount control is then with the Minimoog also the modulation wheel. Okay. And this pitch LFO we also have in Predator 2, for instance. These are the two products which have a dedicated for the traditional vibrato sound. So it's not a LFO for doing some extreme modulation, but it's more for really adding vibrato. As somebody did mention that the vibrato, what I did inside this other sound, also was done manually by using the pitch bend. But that's just like a guitar player would do it a bit. Okay, and the blue bar pitch bend, what is it for? Well, this is the pitch bend is this one. You see in the top screen, you could be able to see, and let me check if you really can see it. Yeah, you should see, this is the pitch bend. And you see it also moving around. So this is the center position, and now I go down, up, which is the pitch bend, which I played a bit earlier with the extreme setting of having 12 semitones. Yeah, there are many sounds in SubBoomBass, so these are in the introduction bank. It's of course one of the first preset. It's very often used, or the second one. It's really deep basses, you feel them more than... And you see, it has a bit of amp simulation on this one. A journey into bass and more. But it's also great for these type of sound. Your pitch bend is yellow. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's okay, so we were today, because somebody mentioned this, how to do these typical old-style Tangerine Dream sequences, and I will upload them so that you can download them. And here we have them, this one. And if you make it dark, it also gets very... Yeah, because the speed of the shorter ones of the double speed is, of course, the note is also a bit shorter, which is logic. So if I play again A, you can hear that. And then when I play B, which is double speed, you can hear that's a bit shorter. So a trick would be to keep them the same length, is to give them a tie note, which is then not playing. Yeah, that's the trick. So if I go back to this preset and I really would make it perfect, what I would do is then sequence A. Okay, sequence B is double speed, so the notes are shorter playing, so I would expand them with the tie note. So now the first step is a longer note because of the second step behind it, which is tied. So if I put it off, oh no, that's the wrong way of doing it. So like this. So this was it before. It's not bad, but I want to have the same length as it was in sequence A. Now it's the same. The note length. And then we have C. On this one I also expand step. This is more deep editing, of course. And now it should be in pattern mode. Okay, the pattern mode. Yeah, now it's better. That's old-fashioned sound. Save sequence. Save preset, I mean. So I saved this preset. So what I did, in short, well, it's not really a ghost note. It's the case that our sequence A is the normal speed, one of the 16th note. And so step 1 has a 16th note length. And sequence B is double speed, which means that what you see here is half a bar. So these 16 steps are essentially 1/32th note. So to make this one again a 8th note, I need to a 16th note. I need to expand it with one note, make the length longer, so that because it's because of the double speed, it's also the note length shorter. So I gimmick essentially the note length by expanding step 1 with step 2 and a tie note. So that's the whole story. Maybe I can make it more clear if I do this. I put off the... Oh, now it's much clearer. So sequence A, listen. So this is normal speed, 16th note, and I play half of them. So what you hear is 8th note. Sequence B is shorter because it's double speed, so also the note is shorter. So I need to expand that by simply doing this. And then it's the same length in note as sequence A. So it's not easy, so you need to really, I had to think about, and I started this evening doing this, and now by changing also this, it gets as it should be. So then it's, so play here original, and then everything is... And I use a mono delay because that was very often used in that time. A mono delay, stereo delays were not that very common in the... It's maybe a bit over the top. And of course you need to set a different time for left and right. It could be possible. And what I also always do is put a bit of the high pass filter on so that the low frequencies of the delay are a bit cut off and the high frequencies. So that's a bit more, especially otherwise you get some booming bass, for sure with bass sound. But I liked it better with the simply a mono delay. So yeah, that was the whole story about essentially this idea from somebody who did mention, how do I make these typical Tangerine Dream sequences? So let's play it again with the, need to unmute here. And we have a bit of punch playing. So all these little fast little things inside of it is done by combining several sequence patterns together. And that can be done by SubBoomBass-2. And by BIT, this is simply not possible because you have 16 steps of arpeggiator and you need multiple sequences or for creating such a thing. So here you see the arpeggiator, which is 16 steps. Still you can do double tempo. So you still, yeah, this is more for doing the classic arpeggiator sound and other sequence type of things. So on that subject, SubBoomBass-2 is much more than only a great bass synthesizer. It's a very sophisticated sequencer on board. Okay, so maybe a bit later on in this live stream, I will cut away the first minute because I was having the wrong button active on the mixer, and it needs to loop back. So I will cut that out. But yeah, if you missed this, you always can watch this live stream back in the playlist on YouTube called Live Streams. And here you see what we are working on is the RPA mod in bigger screen versions. So that's going to be out next week. You can select the big screen in the preset menu, set 100%, 125%, 150%, 200%. RPA mode is a great machine for chorus, flanger, even tremolo, affix. You can use it parallel, you can use it in series. And let me see. The back panel you also can select, and here you also can select the different size. You see here screen size is 150%. Widescreen version is still possible. So the RPA mode is something which you can request if you have one of the raw Papen instruments or FX. You go in the My Products in the top section and you can request RPA mode. And of course it's already installed in the Explorer bundle, so you don't have to request it because it's inside the bundle. So splitting, we have parallel, we have serial, 6 dB split, which makes that there is a filter which splits, and then this one becomes active. First into audio, this audio unit 1 is filtered by a low pass filter, and audio unit 2 is filtered by a high pass filter, so you can make a kind of split point. Yeah, this is more for the guys who like to freak around. And this is parallel. There's two parallel effects. You can have a chorus and a flanger parallel, but series, then this pops up, because in series, first it goes into this one, and then it goes into unit 2, and then you need to mix in unit 2 between the sound which comes from unit 1 together with the sound of unit 2. Maybe I can put it on my voice. 1 second. Mixer. Okay. So now I put it on. Here we go. Oh, this sounds like a Borg. Yeah. Okay. This is for drums. This is from the introduction bank, but also here for vocal. A nice chorus. These are a different chorus. Twice. Yeah, sometimes a vocal bad preset. Yeah, phaser. Vocal bad too. Bass chorus. Yeah, you can try it out. Oh, a disorder. Strange sound. Oh, this is a look on your father. Okay. So let's go on another one. These are strange vocal grid stereo. So this is a stereo FX. Odd phase, yeah, all kind of stuff is on board. Ensemble is also there, which is sometimes, if you have backing vocals, people are using RPA mode to even more making fuller the backing vocals. These type of effects are very nice. So the ensemble, and you can mix between dry and wet. This is down wet. Yeah. So next week we will have an update of RPA mod with the different screen versions. Okay, now I need to put it off. So now I'm back to normal. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed it a bit. Let me see if there's any questions still remaining. So this was the other sound I used. Yeah, there are many things planned. Maybe I should talk about what we are planning to do. I see a question of somebody about import samples in SubBoomBass-2. There is not currently a plan. I think that will be something in the very far future to do. We don't have this request a lot because, yeah, essentially people try to like to use the built-in samples, and they are already tuned and high quality. There's not much demand for it. I think we start first with Blue 3 next year for adding there for the users to add their own samples. So what we like to add to SubBoomBass-2, or will add, is some of the new tabla sounds we have, which are used in Punch 2. They're very nice samples, and you also can tune them and loop them, and you can use them as a bass, just like we use in this one. The combination of the conga, and it's tuned, so I still could add here the saw waveform. So it's a tuned conga, so that's really, and not every sample is useful for using in SubBoomBass-2. So it took me quite some time to pick the right samples, which are great as a bass sound, so tuned percussion. So here's a bass, djembe. This one uses a valve, pure as a tag on a real bass. So that's really, yeah, it's a very creative machine. This is more synthesis. So, yeah, Blue 3 will take some time. First, we will do Blade 2, working very hard on Blade 2. We will have most likely a Predator 2.5 later this year. So that's in the planning. We also have the idea, I'm writing down, but that will be next year, a vocoder, which is an interesting idea. We have some cool ideas. So we are pretty busy in creating some new material. So anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you next week again, and then we check what we will do. Maybe I can talk already a bit about Blade 2 and what we are changing and so on. So I would say thanks for watching and stay safe. Bye.